Okay, welcome to live stream proper. I'm now just going to get things going, and if you were here for the stream about an hour ago, then apologies for the fact that I had to leave that, but this one will not have to leave. We're going to just play the game. So similar setup. What we've got is kind of an isthmus map. Over in the top right we have Shrine Priester. He is playing as the Romans, having drawn the Carthaginians. Yep, is Dragon Dieu, Do. I don't know how you pronounce that. So he had random. Then we have Ivailo Uzunov. He's going to be, well, he's playing as the Britons, and randomly being attributed with the Seleucids is Christian. So let's see how they get on. I also need to point out that this is going out at the same time that Wolves are playing Watford in the FA Cup semi-final, so I'm half watching that as well. So there may be slight breaks while someone scores a goal or something. So as there's a slight delay in this lag, you may also find out about goals or exciting events in the football slightly earlier. No, slightly later. It's fine. So yeah, it won't ruin your enjoyment of the football. Ooh. So let's just see how everyone's getting on. Like 1.5 minutes gone. We can see Shrine Priester and Christian are pulling ahead of the other ones. So it looks like it could be quite good teams as Dragon Dieu. God, I wish I knew how to pronounce that. He's got a lot of cavalry doing nothing. He's not built a storehouse. He's not built a farmstead. So he's going to have no upgrades. He's producing 11 women. My God. So fascinating start to game. In theory, he's jumped right up in his population, but he actually hasn't. A lot of those aren't spawned yet. So Shrine Priester has just produced women as quickly as possible. He's not producing any soldiers whatsoever, and Ivailo Uzunov has got a few people getting some stones so that he can produce some slingers, and presumably he will continue producing slingers on that. Shrine Priest is asking Shmei map. I don't know what that means. So just going to ask, what is a Shmei map? And Christian, you can see, has been producing a bit of cavalry there. Same, aha. So, unknown land. Yeah, so he's kind of spotted, if we look from his perspective, that the last map was an Isthmus-style map. No, he hasn't noticed it's Isthmus. He's just wondering if it is the same map, trying to get some, a sneaky advantage over other people there, and he's not managed to do that. So he's not cheated his way into additional information about the map. So he's asking for streaming. Yes, we are. So you can see, yes. So the I've forgotten his name already. I'm just going to call him Dragon. So Dragon, the yellow player, is just collecting wood. He's finally built a storehouse, but he's probably going to get himself in a bit of trouble because he's going to get housed relatively shortly. He's not producing from his CC, which is not very good at all, whereas we have from the equivalent lesser player on the other side of Ivailo Uzunov is that he is producing consistently, so that's good play. And here we're seeing much the same from Christian. So Shrine Priester and Christian are ahead, but I wonder if the ships are going to be able to get through this section, so he'll be able to grab 2,000 food from there. Oh no, there's more, there's 3,000 food to be had, I think. Yeah, there is. So that's well worth building the dock for. We might have wanted to build that a little bit further up around here, where it would have also acted as a storehouse for these trees, but he chose not to. So that's how it goes. So we've got the dog. He's not really been utilised as well as he could have been there. If we see, I don't think Ivailo has spotted much, so he's not gone and seen much of the map, which he should have done, so not much in the way of scouting. In fact, let's just have a look how each person's scouting's gone. So Ivailo very much stuck to his own corner, even more so the case with Christian. Shrine Priest has at least seen their side of the map, so the team, and Dragon Deer has just done absolutely none whatsoever. So he's certainly furthest behind at this stage, and he's also leaving his cavalry not doing a lot quite often. So can he see these? So he does know there are some deer. He's also been given quite a lot of berry bushes, which he's not used. You can see each of these has got 400 food in, so he's not utilising that. I mean, if I were in his shoes, then the first thing that I would have done is actually get the berry upgrade, the baskets, because there is so much food to be gathered. He could have built one, a farmstead out here, gets it close to these berry bushes, also close to these sheep, and it offers the chance to drive these gazelles or deer or whatever they are towards them. But he's not chosen to do that. So you can see he's actually not doing significantly worse than Ivailo Uzanov, and when you consider that Ivailo Uzanov is playing as the Briton, so should be developing more quickly, you can see that it's it seems at the face of it at least to be quite a fair team setup. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's mostly women, but he has got a little bit of cavalry and a nice mixture of skirmishers and whatever these guys are called, spearmen. I'm not sure quite why that escaped my vocabulary there. This is very good play from Shrine Priest. Those 3,000 fish are going to be excellent. He may also consider, in fact, anyone, if we look, is anyone even aware of this part of the map? So, yeah, from Christian's perspective, if he just goes out a little bit further, he'll see that there's good opportunities like metal and stone. Build a dock around there. He's got access to a load of fish very close, and he's got that stone and metal. So Shrine Priester's horse, his cavalryman, is being driven off, but he is still catching up. He's getting a little bit more just for an understanding and a bit more knowledge about the map. It's all going pretty well for everyone actually at this stage. No one's, I'd say in terms of the teams, it's relatively even. What they really need is, well, for the yellow player to pay a bit more attention. He needs another storehouse, or actually every time I seem to say something like, oh, he should just be doing X, he then goes and does it. So very good on his part. So he is now, he's got this second, I forget what they're even called, storehouse, and he is producing, enhancing his opportunities to gather wood at a quicker level. But are these? okay, that's the end of the attack, however brief that was, as Ivilo Isanov was trying. No, it wasn't. Apologies, that was Christian. So he got this far, and all he knows is that there's a barracks, a tower being built, and a dock. So actually, that probably makes him believe that it's not a good idea to attack. Little does he realise there's a lot more potential there. So if we look, only Christian's not in phase 2 because he's using his resources to build up his population. He's got 3 barracks going. That's possibly too many. I don't think he really needs 3 at this stage, but it has allowed him to build out towards these trees. And as he's producing at a reasonable rate, he's actually stopped. Let's just have a look at his. He's got plenty of food and metal he needs to be producing. Sorry, food and metal, food and wood. Someone, Amaz Raymond, has asked, what's up? The answer to that is that I'm streaming. So, thanks for watching. If you have any other questions and things, then you can pop them in the chat, and I'll try and answer them. I'll be doing that verbally rather than typing, because otherwise I would have to make the image that you're watching not full screen, and that would be odd. Oh, in fact, maybe that's not the case. Let's have a look. No, it's still there. Oh, so Amaz, there you go. Right, just responded to your message, and let's have a look. Shrine Priest is now done with another attack, but it looks like he lost his attack. And this is exactly what I was saying earlier. Shrine Priest has now claimed this area. That is excellent play from his part, and Christian really needed to be on top of that. He wasn't, and now he's going to find it very difficult for him to get control again of this area. The waterways basically 100% now belong to Shrine Priest. So they're not going to take out a ship with these guys. They will be killed very quickly. He really needed to have some towers or something to defend there. That is not good. I mean, I'm wondering, he gets a reasonable amount of line of sight as well from the ships, so that just sitting there actually gives him a pretty decent knowledge of what Christian's up to. And I think at this stage that would certainly give them an advantage. So this tower, I'll be honest, I don't really understand what the point of that tower is, but perhaps that will become clear as we go on. If he actually, oh, he did have troops. Just I was going to say, if he actually had some troops on it, then he could use those. Is Christian aware that he's going to take over this this barracks, and that could be embarrassing. Where are they? There's like 5 people, and are these guys, have they realised that? Or are they just wandering off? Yes, they have spotted it. He just needs one person to sit inside, basically. Okay, they've got a tower now. So a tower, which is just a good start. But it's not really in a position that's going to cause a lot of issues. So this small group of skirmishers sat on there is enough for Shrine Priest to have a really strong advantage in this area. I'm not quite sure why he's not sending some troops out to really make something of this metal and stone. What's this, a second CC? It is. That could be built much further out towards here, or perhaps not. They've got competing, since we've got a military colony, and that will be finished more quickly than the civic centre probably, and these fishing boats, well, there's some fish over here. But I'd say,
Yeah, see?
is he going to do it again? As I just complained about this group of 17 people doing nothing. Didn't work this time. In previous times, that's led to him getting them doing things. But it's going to be, yeah, an interesting situation. Oh no, that is really not what he wanted. He's got a tiny enclave, but it's very much isolated. And as Shrine Priest has just gone to the city phase, so he's now trying to build some towers to further defend this. Well, it's like, what are they? Is it like San Marino is one of them, the Vatican, a country entirely within the borders of another country. I forget what that's actually called. I don't think it is an enclave. Maybe it is. Well, I guess if anyone does know what that is, then please leave us a message, and be interested to know. Okay, these group of skirmishers, there's quite a few of them that get involved. And Chris is building yet another barracks. I think he's still at phase 2, Shrine Priest is at phase 3, and he's building another temple towards the front. Shrine Priest is doing particularly well. If Ilo Wizanoff is really going to be required to be moving on, he's got to produce a lot more troops. He needs to be accessing all of this stone. He couldn't have asked for a much better map, and yet he's only got 22 people getting stone. He's got others getting metal, which is something he doesn't really need, certainly not in the same amounts. These, they just are possibly going to keep going. Those guys looked like they were on the cusp of death. So can they just get this? They've got the temple up, which is important. He needs to set the guys building this to, what's it called, stand ground. And in doing so, he will stop them from running towards that attacking tower constantly. So just looking at the two towers are just going to shoot at one another. They're both garrison. Then we've got a storehouse back here. So Christians managed to get access to some metal. If he can get these linked through towers and houses and storehouses and whatever, if he can just keep building to expand his territory, then he'll be in a much better position. But where's a fortress? Still no fortress for Shrine Priest, which is surprising. But at phase 3 we have got Ilo Wizanoff, and he needs to build a fortress. Let's just have a look from his perspective. Got plenty of stone. Why is he not building a fortress? Basically, if they get, or if he in particular gets a fortress up, the Rams come in and they can really start to push on. However, he's not building it. He's got plenty of stone and he's not doing it. It's very strange. Now that those ships are away as well, for a Christian, it would be helpful for him to build a tower maybe about here. In doing so, that would stop him, Shrine Priester, from really accessing those resources, which are so close by. Although now that he's on phase 3, he has managed to join up, and suddenly the territory there looks, it looks quite dominating, and this fortress is finally going up. Yellow continues. Oh no, dude. Apologies for my sigh there, but yeah, these defensive walls are of no use whatsoever. So he's just going to run out of resources. Basically, he's setting himself up for a very difficult defensive fight. Well, to see how this pans out. So the fortress is there. So he needs a hero, and he needs some rams, and in doing so, there's a good chance that he'll be able to lead an attack. But this fortress is going nowhere. He needs to attack. If he's smart, he would perhaps build another tower just here, and then he could constantly kind of antagonise Rhinepriester by threatening to build this fortress, and all that would do is continually draw larger and larger groups of Rhinepriester's troops into just getting massacred. But he hasn't managed to do that. So Rhinepriester's pretty much at maximum population. He has a fortress, and he's now building a couple of catapults. Let's say, where are the... Oh, he's got one ram. Ivala Wisnoff, is he building everything one at a time? Because he realised that I don't know, he's not producing... Oh no, he is producing other ones. He's got a group of spearmen here that could be gathering that stone, but they're not. Interesting. It's going on here. Is he going to try and land some troops round the back? We've got a market. Does Ivala Wisnoff have a market as well? He does, but there is currently no trade, which isn't a huge issue at this stage. Okay, the fortress is finally going up, but he's losing troops to this, to them running towards the tower. It's one of the most frustrating parts of the game, actually. What would be interesting is this. Yeah, it's got only a small group of troops there, but here they come, and they get straight back on the boat. But it'd be good if there was something that where I don't know, the infantry were a little bit more understanding of the fact that they are not easily able to overpower a tower on the moment. That if they just ran away from towers rather than running towards them, waving around them. Okay, so we've got a couple of catapults here. They're making no real effort to get at the catapults. Christian has got spare population. He's building a catapult there. But where are... if this goes, that's going to cause some issues. So... Oh, here comes some more catapults. Where are the cavalry, the horse... cavalry swordsmen? Strange route the rams are taking, and you cannot just... These guys are going to be massive. They can't attempt to throw just sling rocks and take out one of these things. Yeah, the rams in the north there need to actually come and get at these catapults, or he needs to have some catapults. Or he needs... Or actually, he just needs Ivala to actually produce cavalry. Where are your sword cavalry? None, and none being produced. If he had some sword cavalry, these catapults would not be able to. He's in trouble. They're really reliant on Ivala, and he's lost 40 troops and he hasn't replenished them whatsoever with anything. He's trying to... Oh, it's gone. That's good from Christian's point of view. Where the hell are your catapults? Are we finally seeing some... Are these sword cavalry? No, they're horse archers. When they need sword cavalry, they've brought horse archers. Here comes a cat. We've got anyone who can actually attack these rams. We've got another ram that's just sat doing nothing. That catapult's gone. This catapult is fine, and some sensors going on. Who's going to take out the ram? Why? Horse archers. Yeah, that's not. I don't understand why he's got produce so many horse archers. They're of little to no use at this point. And how have neither of them produced any? Is this it's a spear cavalry? Where are the sword cavalry? He's got some slingers, but he's got to just it's too simplistic. You've got a ram here that's doing nothing. That could be attacking this ram. He's got good horse archers that against rams is effectively nothing. Might as well not have them. And this combination, it would be very, very easy actually to fight this off, but it's got completely the wrong troop compositions. Shrine Priest's ally isn't actually helping him whatsoever. He's just building these walls, these defensive walls, and just sitting inside, not making any effort to do anything. I'm not sure he's played before. And conversely, if I was decision making in terms of what he's producing is woeful here. There's still no sword cavalry. He's aware that they're playing against basically catapults and rams from the siege, and those sword cavalry are exactly what's required to stop those, and yet he continues to produce slingers. Now it could be that they still win because thanks to Dragon's play it's effectively 2v1, but that doesn't change the fact that they really need to... Valorous really needs to get some sword cavalry. Okay, someone in the chat's pointed out that Green does have heavy losses. And that's true, but I still actually think he's got a very good, maybe it's not a very good chance, it's just purely because it's 2 against 1. But the thing is, with the way that it is now, these guys that I just said could effectively be killed very, very quickly. Has Valorous produced any sword cavalry yet? No. I don't think he has. He's sending some resources, but he's leaving masses of slingers doing nothing, and still no sword cavalry. He's, what can you do? The slingers are backing off, and just people that are interested, perhaps watching this ahead of the FA Cup semi-final. Wolves have just taken the lead. So looking back, he is on the side, and Matt Doherty sneaks in at the far post. Aurelia Gomes has very little opportunity. Yeah, that's a lovely goal. Okay, so now we got catapults and the rams attacking this CC. These guys, well, they've lost their they've lost their tempo, which isn't great for them. Shrine Priest, Dagon. I mean, I like the idea of these, a large group of these archers offering range support. But the problem is that, like in this situation, that's superb. They're going to have a great opportunity there. But here we go. This. So you see here 2 swipes done. There you go. And 2 more swipes. Oh, 3. takes just over to this ram. If he attacks the ram, again, now there are so many slings, there is a chance for him to take out this ram. You need to have a lot of them, really. But those cavalry, did they run off? Yeah, it looks like they ran off. So if they hadn't, that could have been it. Yellow still doesn't appear to have engaged with the game whatsoever. Yeah, and which Swine Priest has just noticed. I have to say, if it was possible, I would swap yellow out at this point, because it just seems cruel. He's like got no interest in actually attacking or getting involved in any fights. It makes you wonder what he thinks the game's actually about. Like what are you trying to do? It's not build some walls and that's it. He's only just up to 124 population. Fine Priest has done an excellent job trying to fend off the other two. Yeah, if it was possible, I'd swap yellow out and play myself. I'm by far not one of the best players, but yeah, Dragon do. I'm also just letting Dragon do know that he has to do something. It's totally unfair to just not. He's just not involved in the game whatsoever. So I can only apologise for the teams because actually. Okay, so when the Alves Liborius says that yellow is usually him, if that is the case, then fine when you're playing 1v1, but it's not fair. And yeah, it's not fair just to not play effectively. So sorry for teammate. Try again with someone that will actually play. Okay, that's it. I think that game is done. Yellow's going to carry on building his wall, but I'm ending the game here. There's no one wants to watch that. Thanks very much for playing, and thanks for watching. I'm going to try and start with another game. Let's see. I'm going to call this one Livestream Game 2. Let's see who wants to play. So anyone who's interested, if you're currently just watching and want to play, then just get yourself into the whatever you call it, into the lobby, because Wolves are on the attack. Here comes Raul Jimenez. No, it's Jose Holebas, I think. Yeah, it's Holebas. Okay, so just gonna apologise. So okay, So we've got Shrine Priest versus Christian. Let's see if they want to play 1v1. Should be a relatively even match if they do. Okay, let's see what Christian says. He says sorry. Okay. Christian's now not going to play. Let's just see. Let's get Hispania in. Oh, I see. Apologies. Let's give Ivalo as an off here and... Ow. Let's swap. No. No, wrong one. Apologies. Hispania's spec, okay. Everyone happy-ish with the teams? Let's see. Okay, so Julio's going to be the Britons. Ivalo Uzanov is going to be mainland. No. Okay, Shrine Priest is going to be the Gauls. So we've got Brits and Gauls. And Ivalo Uzanov, I assume, is going to be Britons. Okay, Christian. Civ. Ferhat Kulahi, is that I recognise your name. Are you HMS Surprise? Okay, Kiko 2 is a decent player, but Hispania doesn't want to play, so let's just get people to ready up. It's all Celtic. There's going to be one. Do I have 1,000 viewers? No. We have much fewer than that. But let's start. Okay, so just quickly look over some of the stuff in the chat. We've got Wenda Alves Liborio. He's saying that he normally plays defensive. Ferhat Kulahi, who is possibly HMS Surprise, but possibly also Hispania. Oh, we're in the game. Apologies. And it's basically the same map as the last game. So Shrine Priester is not. That's not Shrine Priester. So we got Shrine Priester last. Oh, of course he uses the goals, so he's different. So Shrine Priester in the black here. He is going to, I think, try and push on quite quickly. Julio playing as the Britons. He's got a very sensible kind of beginning point. Just get a load of women. He's going to attempt to boom as much as possible through gathering food. And interestingly here, Viola has gone straight on to not metal, to stone. So he's going to be attempting to produce slingers, and here we've got Christian, who's also going to be producing slingers and whatever. Okay, oh, Fairhead Kalahi is unknown player, so yeah, welcome. And we've also got Very Service, who's saying that he plays aggressively, so good for him. Maybe he can play in a game shortly. Let's see. I am tempted to attempt to play and commentate at the same time, but yeah, that is incredibly difficult, especially when the FA Cup semi-finals on at the same time. So maybe not. Got a thank you from Welder Alves Laborio. No problem. I enjoy making the videos. Although, as you may or may not be aware, but for people that have subscribed and watched my videos recently, probably are aware, I'm about to have a baby, so that is taking precedent over making videos, so they may just be a little bit less frequent, or I'll just see when I can find like an hour a week just to stream some stuff like this, just to keep some of the content up. Other than that, there are a few videos that I've got some scripts almost for that will be coming up, and one of the most interesting ones I can think of at the moment, also from my perspective, is ways of dealing with some of the more what would at first glance appear to be OP kind of strategies. So things like a slinger and ram rush, which I think we're going to see a lot of slinger and ram attacks in this game. So how do you deal with those? And there are a couple of others that are quite interesting as well. There's the Athenian strategy with their hero, I forget his name, but you can send large groups of slingers, and with the armor bonus they become effectively invulnerable. It's pretty brutal when it happens. So again, how would you deal with that? And on the flip side, what are some of the OP strategies that you can use, and how do you go about doing it? I think we've got a video on siege weapons coming up as well. That may actually already have been published. I'm not sure, but that's virtually done if it's not done. So if you've seen that, then I hope you enjoyed it, and if you haven't seen that, then probably that's because it's not done yet. So what do we have as we approach sort of the 4-minute mark? We've got Shrine Priest and Christian, as you may expect, slightly out in front, but Julio is ahead of Ivalo Uzanov, certainly. And hopefully this time Ivalo Uzanov will build some sword cavalry, because, well, everyone's going to need them, because the only siege weapon available to any of these players is going to be rams. So the only real difference that you're going to get is that there is actually the possibility for the Gauls to have a stage 2 or phase 2 rather champion unit, so they could produce naked fanatics. So let's see if that's something that he chooses to do, but what's certainly been done very effectively by Shrine Priester here is building plenty of farmsteads close to the copious berries which are available. I think if I had to put my money on one side, certainly I'd say the teams on the left are making a far better start than the team on the right. So Christian's a decent play. He played well as the Silius in the last game. Perhaps he's not fully aware of exactly the best way to use the Britons in Alpha 23. Said he hasn't played a lot since Alpha 21. And Ivilo Uzunov, yeah, he's lagging behind a bit. And Christian, I thought he killed a load of people. He hadn't. He just presumably cancelled one particular order and reordered to train some troops. So no one's really making any effort to expand out at this point. And if we have a look and let's see who, so Shrine Priest, I mean, it is kind of an isthmus. No, it is an isthmus map. That's not Shrine Priest, that's Julio. Shrine Priest may be aware that it's Isthmus. Ivilo Uzanov's also gone and done a bit of exploring, but not a huge amount. And Christian really hasn't done much in the way of exploring at all, and it looks like he also lost his dog. But over here in Christian, he's got plenty of metal, and that's good for upgrades and it's good for building rams. But mostly people with these armies are going to be looking for the stone. And from that perspective, Shrine Priest is in luck. He's got 2 large stone deposits, make that, I don't know how much more stone there is here, another 3,000, 5,000, he's got 15,000 stones just in his territory and a bit more available there. And Julio's also had 2 large things of stone, but the same is true of Ivilo Uzunov, and yeah, they've all had a bit extra, but I think Shrine Priest has done the best out of this. Now, both players on the left-hand side have made it to phase 2, and while the others are still at phase 1, I think they could really have pushed home this advantage. Be interesting. Are we going to see a tavern? I think it's called. Yeah, it's a tavern. In order to produce some naked fanatics and then start more of a push. So there's Shrine Priesters. This one's Julio's. They're keeping a good eye on the territory just there. So let's see how this develops. Shrine Priest is certainly clear, and I think the team on the left have made a much better start than the team on the right. Christian's also, for the second game in a row, making his move to phase 2 late while building a lot of barracks. I'm not sure if this was a strategy, maybe in Alpha 21, but from this, well, from my perspective anyway, in Alpha 23, I think he doesn't need this many. If he can't produce from them, then don't build them, and he clearly doesn't have. Well, maybe I should take that back. Let's have a quick look. No, he's not exactly got phenomenal amounts of wood and food. He's got 8 fields, which will be more than enough overall, but I think it would be helpful from his perspective to focus on expanding outwards and gaining more control over resources than it is to build more. See, these barracks are not producing anything. Is that another barracks? It is. if his aim is just to expand his territory, then he'd be better off having used basically the amount of wood that he spent on these barracks, just using it to age up. But there you go. It's all a late tapestry, isn't it? So, oh dear. Surrender is saying that there are lots of resources, there's no need to expand fast. That's true. They don't need to expand out, but it's not just about getting resources in the immediate term, it's about putting yourself in a strong position to stop your opponents from getting a foothold. Now, while Julio and Shrine Priest are at phase 2, they can build a new CC, and while this territory is not claimed, that could be built, let's say, well, probably not there, that's a little bit too advanced, but right somewhere around here, and it just puts them immediately under pressure. So let's wait and see what happens. What is okay? Pomba Prue says Borg Favela. I'm not sure if that's a reference to the chap that plays the game here, Borg, or whether it's, well, actually, like the Star Trek thing. I don't know about Star Trek. Okay, Satum Lamini9 has asked, can I open the game for him? I don't know, is the answer. I literally don't know how. I know I set the number of observers low so that we wouldn't get too much lag. So, yeah, unfortunately, what is it? Satum Lamini9. No, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Apologies. I can't open up the game to you to view as an observer, but you can carry on watching the stream. Okay, Christian's finally got himself to the town phase now. I mean, things we're 12 minutes in. Are we finally going to get some form of actual attack? Shrine Priest, are these... No, these are just houses. I thought they might be towers, but they're not. He's decided to try and take out some houses. He looks like he might take this one out. Yep. Is he going to? It's going to be so tight. 90, 80, 86. Yeah, he's got it. He can now destroy the house, should he choose, and does so. But other than that, he's been effectively dealt with there. But here comes the second CC. Just as I was saying, this is the thing. If you don't claim this territory, then there's a good chance that somebody else will. So it doesn't really matter whether you need those resources immediately. The fact is, you may well do at some point. Coulon Damien says, hi everyone. Hi. And here we have Ivano Ivanov has got a market. We don't have a market in the south. Here, Shrine Priest is just trying to make some harassment, but here come a group of slingers which are busy getting this wood, stone rather, so he's not really going to be able to make too much of that. And then a large group of people getting metal here, and yet he doesn't appear to have any. He hasn't got an armory, so he's not able to get any upgrades. So unless he's actually building some horse cavalry, which he's not. I'm not sure what he needs the metal for. He's only got the first upgrade. He could do with getting some more upgrades. So if we look, I would imagine Julio he's only got 2 of the upgrades. Why have these people not got the stone upgrade? That's really surprising. And again, no stone upgrades. So I'm quite shocked by that. Over here, any upgrades? Interestingly, he's got all the metal upgrades when metal's not the key resource at this stage, but well, each to their own. Now this is the start of something. We have another CC and it's defended by a tower and also this fortress. Shrine Priest is going to be in a very strong position coming forward very shortly. In fact, I think he may even be, he's at maximum population. Has he got, I don't know if he's got any of these upgrades yet. Which one is it? I forget what. That's the first defensive upgrade. Was it armor upgrade? So he hasn't got any armor upgrades. But if you're going to go with pretty much a slinger attack, then having this ranged infantry upgrade and this quilted body armor upgrade is a must. And yeah, doesn't have that yet. What about up here? Followers are off. Also, no upgrades. They could make the difference, particularly in a game like this where people are playing as the same civilizations. Having that could make a massive difference. Now the big thing is going to be to what extent can people get champions, because we're going to basically see lots and lots of rams accompanied by slingers attempting to, effectively the rams going after the buildings and the slingers attempting to take out any sword cavalry or anyone attempting to take out the rams. So if you can get those rams full of champion swordsmen, which are available to both the Gauls and the Britons, then that's going to put you at a big advantage. And we're looking here like this. Yeah, this is going to be a big one. I think they must have no, there's no champion. I thought there was. The tower's gone, and as its thingers, he does have blue does have some sort of spearmen, but I think he's going to find this difficult to defend actually. And what we could quite easily see is Shrine Priest absolutely overrunning them. So what does he... I can't find the thing. So he's going to give 20% attack and 1 capture for soldiers and siege engines. That's pretty helpful. So if Vilo is starting to send people in from the north, that is going to make things a bit more complicated, because at the moment it looks very much like Shrine Priester is just going to force his way through. And again, the team on the right, with them not having any sword cavalry, it's mind-blowing actually that they wouldn't have learnt that from the last game. It should really have some sword cavalry, because they've got what is effectively an invincible ram just making its way slowly through, knocking everything down. And they've got another ram going, so by the time they get rid of that one, yeah, none of these troops have any chance of stopping the rams. So this does not bode well. Yellow, so Ivalo was not attempting to fight back, but this ram could do with just carrying on. Okay, Shrine Priest is backing off, and I'm not really sure exactly why. He doesn't... Did he just lose one of the rams? Did it finally die? This one went in there. Yeah, I think it may have died. It was very, very close to being destroyed. Okay, but here comes Julio. He's bringing in some troops, and this does not look good. I've just knocked over a drink all over my computer, so give me a minute to tidy that up. Okay, apologies for that. Hopefully the computer will survive. Yeah, that's Raul Jimenez's fault. He nearly scored, and in turning round, because the TV is behind me, he missed anyway. Just spooned his shot over the bar. But as a virtue of the excitement, I turned around, then turned back, and my computer was soaked. Okay, there's still no one's built any sword cavalry. I've never seen anything like it. Not only have they not built any, they're not attempting to build any. It's not like they've been built and they're being killed off. Ivalo was not built precisely 0. And this ram, that ram should really be aiming at the CC, and I think it is now. It's finally going towards the CC, which is what you would expect it would do. And this one's coming back up as well. Now the women, bizarrely, are actually better at taking out a CC. Not CC, sorry, taking out the rams. But Shrine Priest can just leave these guys. This one's run away. Where is... Shrine Priest has a... I think he's building 2 more rams. And Julio could really do with supporting. they're just not at the moment. Yeah, Christian's given up, and he wouldn't have had to give up if he'd just built some sword cavalry. Bizarre. And this is interesting for Shrine Priest. He's really pushing on. He's taken over these 2 barracks and is building a tower to help defend them. So here comes Shrine Priester. Sorry, not Shrine Priester. So here's Isthmus-style, but once again, there's no one that can take out the rams. Still hasn't built any sword cavalry. Very, very strange. So it's only a matter of time. Christians, I suppose, retracted his giving up because he's just not got any resources. He's got barely any people, but he's got a lot of resources. So why is he not producing some soldiers? But this bizarre. Actually, check out around. There were so many slingers. Here comes Green coming up to the north, and Julio hasn't really been involved in the game. Is starting to make a move towards Ivano. Christian's just marching his women to their death, and sword cavalry. Oh my word! It's finally happened. It's far, far too late, but he's finally realised that sword cavalry are a thing that can be built, trained, whatever. Let's have a look. So Isthmus-style is trading. He's on 50% metal, 50% stone. Not quite sure why he's got such large amount of metal. Well, Christian's down to 4 people, and the game's effectively done, but Isthmus-style continues to play on, and he's attempting to do something defensively. And Julio's been incredibly... he's not really attacked, he's been very non-committal. As soon as he's met any opposition whatsoever, he's just kind of run away. And that appears to still be true now. But he's not supporting any of those troops. He's just got a load of people building this sort of for his teammate. Yeah, why have they not just... I'm not quite sure why they haven't gone to just take control of any of the barracks, or what Christian's doing. He's kind of playing. There you go. He's not... Yeah, he's just producing cavalry for whatever reason. Lol, 1 ram is OP. Not if you've got sword cavalry. Or even a ram of your own. Or elephants. Or bolt shooters. There's all manner of things you can do to protect yourself. Okay, here come Julio's rams from the north. Not really doing much. Isthmus-style isn't aware of that, although he's building up his defences. we've
Yeah,
got
see?
this large group of sword cavalry now. Is Christian, is he still playing? I don't actually really know. He is building a lot of
Yeah, see?
sword cavalry. Well, Julio's not really doing much whatsoever.
Yeah, see?
And here comes Shrine Priest now. Where are those rams that were coming around?
Yeah, see?
There they are. They're sneaking in round the back. So it's just been made available to Viola was not sending a lot of food to Christian, but that's not what he needs.
Yeah, see?
I don't fully grasp what Viola is not doing. This CC is gone. It's gone. So that doesn't look good for the team on the right hand side. And in come some more rounds to attack. Green has, yeah, I feel like I have to apologise to Shrine Priest again. I mean, his teammate has got a little bit involved this time in terms of at least sending some rams, but he's not been very fortunate for the last couple of games with teammates that seem to think that the fighting part of the game is an optional extra. It's not, it's a key component of the game. You're going to have to get into fights. Doesn't matter if you build the most beautifully balanced economy. It's of little to no use if you don't actually stop your opponents crushing you.
Yeah, see?
Well, Raul Jimenez didn't miss the second time. I didn't see the goal, but he has just scored and he's putting on some kind of Mexican wrestling mask with the wolf's emblem on it. Very nice. So, very personalised goal celebration. Let's just have a quick look at this. So the ball comes out to the wing. He might be offside. Oh, but there's VAR. Oh, it's a beautiful finish. Was he level? Was he slightly in advance? What are they going to say? It's actually really... See, has he given the goal or not?
Yeah, see?
Yep. It was a goal, and fair enough. So the CCs are both down.
Yeah, see?
If you hadn't realised, this game here is basically over. We got no CCs for Ivilo was an off, and Christian didn't develop quickly enough, and I don't really know what he's doing now. Anyway, I think we all know this game is over. Although the horses, he's finally built sword cavalry, so well done. There's only about 20 minutes too late, but they're going to run around. He's got 42 of those, and they are all of his troops, which means he can't build anything else. thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you at some point in the future. There'll be another video coming out, not too distant future. So cheers.